Summary of Yellow Woman by Leslie Marmon Silko. The narrator wakes up at dawn next to the river, her legs wrapped around those of the man sleeping next to her. She hears sounds and sees animals moving around her. She wakes up the man to tell him she's going because she can't leave without saying goodbye. He tells her that she already knew his name and purpose last night when she asked him who he was. He then reminds her that she is coming with him and calls her Yellow Woman. The person telling the story says that they can't be the Katsina spirit and Yellow Woman from the old stories, but the man, whose name is Silva, keeps calling her Yellow Woman. The narrator is deep in thought when she remembers her grandfather telling stories about Yellow Woman. She thinks if Yellow Woman had a normal life and family besides being the Yellow Woman of myths. She thinks about how Yellow Woman left to live with the Katsina spirit for many years before coming back to her home with twin boys after making love to Silva again. She thinks about how her life is similar to the story of the Yellow Woman, but she tells him she doesn't have to go with him because things like that don't happen anymore. Silva doesn't fight, he just pulls her along with him, and she goes. They are riding north through the mountains, and the narrator can't help but think about her family and what they are doing at home. When they get to Silva's house, the storyteller stands back and looks out over the mountain. Silva shows where the land of the Pueblo, the Navajo, the Texans, and the Mexicans ends. He tells the narrator that he steals from the cattle farms when asked if he works for them. He says that she already knows who he is and that the Navajo people also know him, but she doesn't believe him. They get under the covers together, and Silva gives her a kiss on the face. Even though she wants to turn away, he pulls her back hard and tells her she will do what he wants. The Yellow Woman is scared because she knows he is stronger than her. Later, though, she changes her mind and starts to feel soft toward him. As he sleeps, she kisses his face. When the narrator wakes up the next morning, Silva has already left, so she sees this as a chance to go back home. Because she gets lost in the fir trees, she ends up back at Silva's house instead of going home as she had planned. When she comes back, Silva is dressing a dead animal and asks her if she wants to go with him to Marquez to sell meat. Someone riding a horse comes up to Silva and the reporter as they are going down the mountain and asks where Silva got the fresh meat. The rancher says Silva stole cattle and Silva says he was hunting. Now the rancher is looking for Silva. The person telling the story says the rancher is fat, sweaty, and smelly. He tells the storyteller to ride back up the mountain as Silva turns to face her. Silva has his hand on his gun as the storyteller turns to leave. She speeds off on her bike. Her ears seem to pick up 4 bangs. When she sees the river, she gets off the horse and walks along it to get to the town. She takes a break and thinks about Silva. She is sad that she left him, but she doesn't understand him yet. At night, she tells herself that he will wait for her at some point. The narrator walks back into the town, and when she gets to her house, she hears and smells everything she remembers about home. Inside, everything looks fine. Her mom and grandma are making jello, and her husband is playing with the baby. When she tells her family that a Navajo kidnapped her, she wishes her grandpa was there to hear her story, which is about a yellow woman.
About the author. Silko was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in 1948. She grew up on the Laguna Pueblo reservation and attended a local grade school before entering high school in Albuquerque. She went to the University of New Mexico and got her bachelor's degree in English. After that, she taught creative writing and oral culture at the university. Tony's Story, her first book, came out in 1969. Silko was of mixed Native American, Mexican, and Caucasian background, even though she grew up on the Laguna Pueblo reservation. She had a hard time figuring out how to balance her racial and ethnic identities for a long time. Silko's grandmother and great-grandmother took care of her and her 2 sisters while her parents worked. She got her love of stories from them. Silko has written and released many poems, short stories, and novels. Ceremony, her most famous book, which came out in 1977, is often taught at the university level. Silko got a grant from the MacArthur Foundation in 1981, and the Native Writers Circle of the Americas gave her a Lifetime Achievement Award in 1994. She lives in Tucson, Arizona.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.